Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Mohita and I make food and book related videos on this channel quite inconsistently. It's been ages that I have sat down like this and I'm filming a book video for you guys, and I am thoroughly excited today and it's such a pleasure to be here. For today's video, I have listed a bunch of books. Most of these are series that you guys can try and read, especially in this lockdown period. So keeping in mind the kind of mindset all of us are in right now, the kind of books that I've chosen are highly entertaining, fast-paced. All of these are page turners, not a dull moment inside the storyline. And also most of these are series. I just have one standalone book in my list today. The reason why I decided to go with duologies or trilogies or series is because we have a lot of time on hand than we normally get otherwise, especially people who work, people who go to college, everything is shut, you are at home. So I'm just assuming that you have a teeny tiny bit extra time on hand, and this is the time to roll up your sleeves and get reading. And with that, I would strongly suggest you pick up the Truly Devious series at the earliest. So this is a trilogy. The first book is called Truly Devious. The second book is called The Vanishing Stair, and the third book is called The Hand on the Wall. This belongs to the crime/mystery genre, and it's also YA. I love the premise of this book, and that is really what pulled me in, and I was completely sold when I read the plot. So there is this academy called the Ellingham Academy, which has been in existence for like 70-80 years, and its reputation is that it selects only a select few students who are in some way special or have a special talent, and every year these students are selected and they are allowed to hone their skills in a rather unconventional way. The Ellingham Academy opens in the 1930s, and the very first year that the academy begins, a murder takes place, and ever since then the academy is famous not only for its academic approach but also for its dark past. Cut to 2016, where the current story is taking place. We have another set of students coming in, and mysterious things start happening once again. Mysterious, dark and dangerous things start happening once again, and they are probably somehow connected to the past. Thankfully, we have a detective in the midst of all the students in 2016, and she is hopefully going to solve the case. There are two main reasons why I enjoyed the series. One is the mystery itself. The story is phenomenal. It will always keep you at the edge of your seat. It will always keep you guessing. You will be constantly racing against the book itself to try and find out any clues if you have spotted them. And another thing that I loved about this book was the geography and the atmospheric sense that the writing created. So the academy essentially is situated way up in North America, almost next, like at the border of Canada and North America, and which is why it is quite secluded. It's very difficult to reach because it's up on a hill where things could happen. The next series I want to recommend is a fantasy series. This one is the Mistborn series, which is written by Brandon Sanderson. This again is a trilogy of which I have read the first two books. The first book in the series is called Mistborn. The second book in the series is called Well of Ascension. And the third book in the series is called The Hero of Ages. What to say about Brandon Sanderson's writing? Even if this is a fantasy series, and this is something that I have observed in his writing, even in Elantris, he has a very scientific approach to his magical worlds. He does not leave anything open for interpretations. He definitely knows what he's talking about. There is no inconsistency, no discrepancy in his magic systems, and that is something that I enjoy. Now, his books are descriptive, and if you do not enjoy descriptive books, then maybe you should wait a while to read this series. I wouldn't call this series as particularly fast-paced, but it is nonetheless a page-turner. It's very, very character-driven, and the characters are amazing. You care for them, you want to know what happens to them. The Mistborn series is in an apocalyptic world where there is a lot of social hierarchy and aristocracy, and there are poor people who are oppressed, and amidst these there are these Mistborn and certain people with special powers who can draw different kinds of powers by using different metals. And as it is, I think, very typical of Brandon Sanderson, there is a lot of political intrigue throughout the book along with some fantastical elements, and this is again one fantasy series that I would definitely recommend, although I have to say that it is slightly slow. Another book I want to recommend for this lockdown period is this standalone book. This is called Big Little Lies, which was also made into a series starting Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman, and I think a second season is coming up which has Meryl Streep in it. But anyway, this is just one book. This kind of belongs to the crime genre because the book opens with a murder that takes place in a school, and from there on the story follows. You don't know who is murdered and you don't know who has been murdered, but as you go along with the story, you get introduced to these three women who have one thing in common, and that is their kids go to the same school. So you see the story progressing with them as a group and also individually. Each of these women have one hidden secret, and as they get unearthed, you start wondering if that secret has anything to do with the murder. And also the build-up of the suspense overall is phenomenal. So if you don't exactly want to pick up a longish series right now, you can definitely go for this one. The second last series that I want to recommend is a duology, and I have, I think, spoken more than once about this because this duology is so close to my heart. This one is written by Lee Bardugo. The first one is called Six of Crows, the second one is called Crooked Kingdom, and I was like, when I read Six of Crows, I was like, there is no way that the second book is going to hold a candle to this one, but I was taken by a pleasant surprise. This turned out to be even better, which is how a series should be. This duology also is dark and mysterious, character-driven, very, very atmospheric, and the writing is brilliant. I have enjoyed every single character in this book to the hilt. So the plot essentially of this book is that of a heist. A couple of misfits, 6 misfits to be precise, are sent on this heist that will earn them a lot of money. And some of the team members can't really see eye to eye, but they have to work as a team, they have to work as a unit in order to be successful in their mission. And they're living in a world that is vile, everybody is plotting against one another, there is a lot of mistrust in the society in general, and they belong to a world of thieves and con artists and pimps, so it's not necessarily like a happy world, but that does not make the series sad in any way. In fact, it keeps you entertained at all times. Also, the characters in this book are quite intense, and given actually the intensity of the characters, it's kind of a surprise that this book still has managed to be so fast-paced and be such a page-turner. The twists and turns in this book are absolutely fantastic. So there is one leader of the team, his name is Kaz, and he is supposed to be this very clever, very witty, extremely intelligent person who can worm his way out of any bad situation, and that is what the team really needs. Also, all the other members of the team are quite endearing. If I'm not mistaken, it's been almost a year that I read this series, and I pretty much remember all the characters and every single detail that happens in this book. And the last and final series is especially for the kids who are stuck at home. This one is called the Bottomless series, and I feel like this is made for middle-aged to high school kids, although you will enjoy it equally even as an adult. I read this just 2 years back. The Bottomless series is written by Jonathan Stroud, and this is essentially a trilogy, but then there is also one final book that came in as a prequel to the entire story. But these 3 are the main books. So the first book is called Bottomless, the Amulet of Samarkand, the second book is called Bottomless, the Golem's Eye, and the third and final book is called Bottomless, Ptolemy's Gate. This series is based in a fantastical London for the most part, and basically the world, oh, I have the book upside down. Okay, basically the world is divided into people with magic who have kind of studied magic and have become magicians, and others who are common people. And all the people who can do magic are basically the people who are governing the rest of the world. So this basically belongs to the whole idea of being able to summon supernatural beings. So none of the magicians are wizards. They can't do magic by themselves, but they have learned magic academically in such a way that allows them to summon these supernatural beings that also have kind of a hierarchy. So there are weak supernatural beings and there are strong and even stronger supernatural beings, and the stronger they are, the difficult they are to control. Enter Bottomless, an extremely dangerous high-level monster who gets summoned by this 13-year-old kid whose name is Nathaniel. And the thing is, while Bottomless has dangerous powers, he is also snarky, he's sarcastic, and he doesn't like humans. So this entire book has a lot of sarcasm in it and a lot of witty writing, clever writing. You will be in various degrees of fits of laughter by the time you finish the series. Apart from all the adventures that the magicians have and the villains and the heroes of the story. What really makes this series work is Bottomless's personality. He thinks highly of himself and he thinks that human beings are beneath him. There are these parts in between where he addresses the reader directly and kind of puts the reader down in a very fun, witty, snarky way. The writing kind of breaks the third wall and directly addresses the reader, which makes this series so much more enjoyable than it would have been otherwise. And with that, my list of recommendations for today is over, and I will see you again whenever I see you again in another book related video. Until next time, bye!